Hi, Social Work 220. This is just a kind of a special section just for you. I wanted to talk about some techniques that you can use to keep yourself calm through the semester and whenever you have stress, and also keep these in your pocket so you can use them with clients at any time in the future or with friends or anything. So I'll try to show them to you. Let me just give you the first one. The first one is just a picture kind of thing. So when you do have a lot of stress or you have a thought that is repetitive, picture a stream and picture how leaves fall down and then they land in the stream and they go down the stream. So picture that in your mind, take in the smells, the sounds, the look, the feel of the stream. And as those leaves go by, put your thought or the problem or the repetitive issue on a leaf and watch it go away. You may have to put it down a few times, but watch it go away. It's not quite as serene, but changing the thought the way you change the radio dial. Change the dial, change the thought, change the dial. Sometimes I've given people a list of things they can think about. And so when the 2 or 3 bad ones come up, they've got 4 to pick from. But they keep it on a Post-it note nearby so that they can try to remember something else to think about when those errant thoughts get in their minds. The next thing I wanted to talk about is just a second about anger. To understand anger, this is one of the ways that we explain it to children and adults, is if you take your hand, this is sort of the spinal cord that goes up to the brain stem, and this is the limbic system. This is where all of our strong emotions are. They're in the thumb, but they are covered by the rest of the brain so that it's in there and we can hold on to it. But when we get upset, we are, as they say, flipping our lid, and out comes all that anger and emotion. So we try to teach kids or adults as they get angry to try to put the lid back, and also when they're feeling those emotions to not let the lid pop up, because we know what's under there when the lid pops up. Wanted to talk about some things that can help you to calm yourself. It can also help a client to calm themselves. One of these is rocking. I am in a rocking chair, so if you happen to have a rocking chair, it's a great thing. When people come to my office, a lot of times I sit in my rocking chair. It's the time that I get to relax and rock. There's a that goes back to when we were babies, that when mothers always rock their babies or they go side to side. Self-rocking, or just making yourself have movement like I'm doing right now, even without the rocking chair, is very comforting. Couple things with blankets. If you have a nice soft blanket, you can wrap yourself in it. It's reminiscent of a baby being swaddled in blankets, but make it a soft blanket, or make it a blanket that smells good, something that really touches you, or an emotional blanket that you have a connection to. So that's important. I can't really lift it up to show you, but I do have those, what are they called? Weighted blankets. Sorry. A weighted blanket here, and if you don't know what they are blankets that have little tiny heavy beads in them, and if you lay under them, it's soothing and comforting, and that's a really good way to calm yourself. It's sort of very similar to if you have a dog and you've seen those thunder shirts. It's sort of doing the same thing to ourselves. Sucking a candy, if you can get a hard candy and just suck on that, that infant response of how we were comforted when we were infants, and it works. You can do things like this, butterfly tapping. You can tap in any way, but butterfly tapping or going like this are all calming things. Bouncing a ball even, if you can bounce something or put something back and forth from your hand, those things can all be calming. I wanted to talk about a little more difficult thing, and that is diaphragmatic breathing. This is the kind of breathing that you should be doing when you're meditating or anything, but it's just a sure way to relax. So what I'm going to ask you to do is put your hand on your stomach and take in a breath through your nose. And I want you to tell me if your stomach gets bigger as you inhale. So you ready? Inhale. Now, mine did, because I know what I'm doing, and my chest moved too. But if you didn't feel your stomach move, that's diaphragmatic breathing. You want to get the stomach to go in. So the goal is to sit there or lay there and breathe in deep enough that your stomach gets very large, and then slowly let it out. There is a sense of tranquility that goes in when you have filled your stomach with air, and then blown it out. And really it should go in through your nose and out through your mouth. I'll show you a trick. If you're having trouble with getting your stomach to move, put your hands behind a chair. If you put your hands behind a chair and now you breathe in, your stomach will go up. So that'll give you the sense. Practice it with your arms behind your chair, breathing in. And your stomach will just naturally get large, and you'll get better at it. So another way to breathe, to teach breathing, and this is rectangular breathing. So I'm going to show it on an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. And it helps people understand the art of breathing. Breathing in, holding it, breathing out, holding it. So we breathe up, we hold it, we breathe out, we hold it. I'm going to do it here, and we're going to breathe in with our nose, out with our mouth. Hold, breathe out, hold, and begin again. It's rectangular breathing. The other thing that you can try to do is bubble breathing. Bubble breathing is, you remember when you were a kid and you blew bubbles, right? So you breathe in through your nose and blow out as if you're trying to blow bubbles. And that will help people to get the calming reflex. And even just thinking about blowing bubbles can be relaxing to people. A couple grounding techniques can help that I'll give you, especially with anxiety. The one is if you tighten all your pelvic floor muscles. I'm not going to completely explain that, but if you can just picture it for a minute, just taking a deep breath and tightening those pelvic floor muscles. You can Google that if you want. You cannot worry while you're tightening the pelvic floor muscles. You can't do it. It's a great technique. It will take your mind off of whatever is worrying you. And the other thing is the 5-4-3-2, and that's the sensations. So we want to think of what do we hear, what do we see, what do we smell, what do we feel. So you would try to think of 5 things that you see. So right now you think of 5 things that you see. I'm going to let you do that. The next thing you're going to do is 4 things that you hear. 4 things that you hear when you're in the room. 3 things that you feel, like I feel my sweater. I feel the chair underneath me. I feel the floor underneath of my feet. And then 2 things that you smell. That's probably the hardest one. Trying to do that while you feel them out, that can be a very grounding experience. Real important to get in touch with our senses when you are feeling anxiety. That's why they make so many things with fragrances, because that is such an integral part. So it was good to talk to you about this. I think the assignment is in there. I'm asking you to tell me one thing you're going to do to take care of yourself for the rest of the semester, and also which of the tactics I just shared with you do you think you're likely to try? Thanks.